Becca, thanks again for joining us. Last week at this time, you were calling for the governor to issue a shelter in place.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, it was a stay-at-home advisory, which I guess the two are the same.
Well, they're not quite the same, but I hope for all of our sakes that people take the advisory very seriously. We need extensive social distancing in order to curb and flatten the curve, the phrase that we've all heard now probably more times than we can count, so that our health systems are not fully overwhelmed, not just from COVID-19 patients, although we certainly will see a tremendous uptick of those folks, but also for all the other reasons that people go to a hospital or to the doctor. We have in North Attleboro, right, we have a situation where a number of the firefighters responded to a call and are now quarantined. So if your house catches on fire and all of the firefighters are under quarantine because of COVID-19, guess what's going to happen? Your house is going to burn down because we won't have any firefighters. So I'm glad to see it, but we needed it, frankly, a week before the governor issued it, if not sooner even than that. And I still believe that we do need an order for people to stay home, which we are seeing rise up all over the world, frankly, in places with far fewer positive patients than we have here in Massachusetts. And I don't mean a scary never leave your house order. I mean you stay home unless you need to go to the grocery store or go to the pharmacy or go to an essential job or go to do anything else that is actually essential.
Another thing we talked about last week, local elections. The House, the Senate, the governor signed a law allowing communities, municipalities, mostly towns because they have spring elections.
Right.
Plainville is postponing theirs. North Attleboro is postponing theirs. They were both smart enough to not set a date because at this point, who knows?
Right. That order does have tremendous positive impact for a lot of our towns all across the Commonwealth. And we needed to do that at the state level so that people weren't forced to basically run off to court to get emergency orders each and every time a local election was coming up. So I'm glad that we were able to lead at the state level for that.
What else is going on at the State House? I know up in Washington, they're concerned with senators coming down with the coronavirus. They're not allowed to meet virtually. How about at the state level? Do you have to be in the State House to cast a vote?
We do. If we are in formal session, we are required to be there physically present unless we are sick, really truly sick. There's a provision in both the Senate rules and also the House rules for you to vote from your office if you are sick, and that has happened. It's unclear to me whether social distancing precautions would qualify under that particular rule. To date, the House and Senate have both been meeting in informal sessions, which means people do not have to be in the chamber, and that has worked so far. And we have been able to do some good work that way, which is great. We also, the Senate at least, is having virtual caucuses. So we've had 2 of these where, we meet over Zoom. We're all getting very good at Zoom, which is a good thing. So we have been able to continue to operate, right? We are a constitutional component of our government. So it is crucial that we stay active and working. I have been doing a tremendous amount of work as the Senate Chair of the Municipalities Committee as we look at the dozens of issues impacting our municipal, district, county governments throughout this pandemic period. The elections, of course, is a big piece, but also town meetings are coming up, and we have a whole slew of other issues that we're going to need to address. So there's a lot happening, even though the House and Senate have not met in formal session. I will add that the Senate has been meeting in informal session and live streaming all of those informal sessions, which we don't usually do, but we're doing it now.
We're a little more than 3 months toward the end of a budget year, a fiscal year. And when I say budget, I'm looking ahead to 2021. Casinos are closed. Restaurants are closed. They're still doing takeout, but let's face it, the amount of sales tax pales in comparison to what it would be.
Yeah.
Should town managers, town administrators, mayors be worried about the state aid or lack of state aid they're going to receive next year?
Our revenue forecasts all need to be adjusted at this stage of the game. I don't know what those numbers are going to look like, but just as every business and every nonprofit, everybody's taking a hit here. It's certainly the same for our revenue dollars. I haven't read the language from the $2 trillion package that just came down from the federal government. So there are a lot of moving pieces, and I think we should take out some disappointment insurance, as my family has told me. But honestly, I think it's a little bit too early to know what's going to happen.
Is there anything else you want people of North Attleboro to know this week?
Hang tight. We're in for a long haul. Right, the governor just ordered that schools and daycares are closed until early May. I think we have not hit peak yet. I think our healthcare workers and first responders are heroes, and anything that we can do to lift them up. Even if someone actually, came by my house and put a chalk drawing on it saying thank you for your service, and that was wonderful for me. I'm certainly not out there on the front lines the way our doctors and nurses and first responders are doing right now, but I am working on this pretty much nonstop, and that was huge. So if you are in a position where you live near a first responder or a medical professional, and you're able to maintain your social distance, but send a little friendly message to bring some joy in an otherwise extremely stressful time, that would be great. And if anybody needs help on anything, do not hesitate to contact my office. We check our voicemails routinely, regularly throughout the day. We are checking email. You can email me directly, becca.rausch@masenate.gov. And the phone number is 617-722-1555. We also send and update regularly materials with regard specifically to COVID-19 on the website, beccarauschma.com/COVID-19.
Finally,
hang in there.
I forgot to ask, how are you and your family doing?
Oh, thank you for asking. We are all fine. I think the kids are out for a bike ride now, which is good because otherwise they climb the walls. We're all trying to figure out how to manage being basically cooped up at home. How are you and yours, Peter?
Doing well. Busy.
Yeah, well, it's never dull, that's for sure. And that was true even before this happened.
Well, I want to thank you once again for joining us again this week, and hopefully we'll get a chance to do it again next week.
I'm sure we will. Thank you for having me, Peter.